Okay, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert,
And I'm Lyanca.
and this is the Hot Hustle Show. Today, we have brought Ambujam Rose back to the series again because everybody loves her.
Well, I love everybody.
We gather
Yeah.
that.
To be honest, you're one of the, you know, overall, you are probably one of the most potent healers I know. And it's really
Thank
beautiful
you.
to be
That
hooked
means a
up with
lot.
somebody that is so connected with the universe and oneness and so connected to change the world,
Right, to the bigger
one
mission
present
there.
moment at a time almost, because that's what you are, is really that one present moment. So I really just today want to open it up and have you
Yeah.
guys, the callers, say, here's what's going on in my life. Before we do that, though, Ambujam, what would you say that you would want callers to come in with? Do they need like one
Mm.
question? Here's the issue.
And for a couple people that haven't joined us for the first call, just talk a little bit about, for a second, a little bit about what you do and how you help, and then we can get right into it too, and you can let them know how you like to have them present the questions to you.
Okay. Um, so I'm going to super shorten. I'm going to take a
Yes.
super long story
Yes.
and like do it like one sentence.
Yes.
Okay. So ever since I was like 2 years old, I was seeing the soul history of people and like these points of where there's something incomplete or unfinished or not felt all the way, and how these points affect our human life today. And these are where the root causes are of our issues, our situations, our family stuff. Everything is coming from before. That's why they're so intense. And you can't just like snap your fingers and they're gone, right? Sometimes we
Interesting.
can. Grace comes along and they're like, poof, you're done, right? But so I've been working with people for 30 years of really deeply understanding what makes them tick, what motivates them to feel how they feel about themselves, do what they do, how these dynamics of just how they feel inside are creating their entire life, and how they can change that and heal and understand themselves at such a sacred level. And then 10 years ago, I want to say 15 years ago, I can't remember right now because I'm like, my brain is not working. Okay. At some point, my clients started waking up in front of me in sessions and their
Wow.
true self started coming out. And I could see how their true self is not their soul history. It's like present here.
Interesting.
And yet soul history is still here. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Family issues still here. How we feel
Mm-hmm.
about ourselves still here. And yet there's this truth that's like,
Yeah.
right. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, how do I do healing now? Because it had to change.
Interesting.
Everything changed. So when I work now, it works with both. I see where the person is having their awakening and all of those details, because it's so specific for each of us of how that light is coming on board and like healing and eating everything, right?
Interesting.
And what's up, and the soul history and the issues and the physical stuff and the emotional stuff. But it's how we are with it now is different, we could say. And so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because of the awakening, right? It's
Yeah.
changing
I knew
everything.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
So when you guys come with your questions, I see the whole thing, and there's a spot that will grab me and show me this is what we need to talk about what your question is today. And I would want to say for us to be able to get to as many people as we can, focus on one thing, just one question, or wherever you're needing support right now. And then we can really zero in with that and work with that. So that's what I want to say. And nothing's off the table. There's no subject that we can't talk about. Yeah.
Cool. Let's
Very
do
cool.
this.
Yeah. Lots of hands. Let's go.
Okay. Erica, get ready to unmute yourself. Erica, ask your question.
Hi, Ambujam.
Hi, love.
I could go into more detail, but I have an opportunity ahead of me, and I'm just wondering if you can tap in and see what Spirit has to share with me right now.
So why aren't you trusting your truth about it? Why do you keep, like, I know that you know, and then you'll be like, well, but trust your truth. I get it. We all get scared. The mind has all these ideas of what something is, and then there's our heart being like, yes or no. The end. So I want to tell you to trust what you know. Trust what you know. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Because there's nothing else to do other than that. Can you be with your fears that are coming up around the mind and and all the stories? Yeah, but there's nothing else to say other than you already know what to do. Take a deep breath and dive in to the truth. So that's what I got.
Badassery. All right.
Badassery.
Thank you, Erica. It's like sometimes it's like too sharp. How about Rosemary? You're up.
Hi,
Hi,
so glad to be
Rosemary.
here. Anyway, Ambujam Rose, I have high pressure in my eyes. I, went to the doctor a week ago. She gave me drops. So if you could help with lowering the pressure in my eyes.
Yes, I see the pressure. What is going on with that? This is an interesting one. Mhm. It's interesting because what is creating this is layered. So I'm going to go with what is showing me now. Like I could be like, oh, in all these past lives, you were killed, you got hurt, it's like trauma, 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 trauma. And in this life, it's almost like this image of like you're being ripped open. Like life is like, you will be you. And I don't care how you feel about it. Like it's so, you can't help it. There's, of course, times you want to go jump off the path and just take a minute and be like, wait, don't I have a say? Right? But this is your say, right? Really deep down. So, because you are the path is you. Okay. There's a whole chunk of like soul history that's showing itself to me now about all these layers of, I'll call it spiritual fear of, okay, there's a okay, this is just so hard to talk about because it's hard to put words to this. You know the truth about the truth. And let's just say spirituality. Okay. These past lives that I'm seeing are in this confusion. They're like conflicted. But if I'm this, then this will happen and that will happen. But if I'm in my power or I'm being who I am or I'm being what I feel God is asking me to be, then this and that and this will happen. And it got like twisted or confused. Yet even in those lives, you still know the truth that it's none of those stories. So what I want to say is to start relieving the pressure, is to just beeline to the truth inside that you know underneath it all, that does not need you to describe it to yourself. It doesn't need labels. It's this pure core truth. And then be that. And I'm, of course, simplifying. Right. And this truth that has never left you, like each soul has such a different incarnational experience. Some souls, let's say, I don't want to say forget who we are, but I don't have a better word to describe it right now. Some souls have that experience of forgetting. Some don't. You did not have that experience of forgetting. It's always been there. So this truth, this pure spot that you just know without words, without labels of describing all that is, or creation, or whatever words we put to it, it's already there. And because of where we are now in 2024 and the energies and the transformations and the awakenings, you don't need to have to, quote, heal all the fears or figure out, well, which ones are stories and which ones are not. You already know. So just beeline there. Stay, 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 stay. If you do need to heal stuff, it'll come, right? But I don't know why Spirit's showing me this. Stand in the railroad tracks. They're already there. You don't have to figure out how to get there. They're right there. And if a train comes, you'll move out of the way. Like, you don't have to figure it out. So that's what I want to say. Do you want to share anything about?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot to digest, and I always do feel like I'm in my power. I always say that. I tell other people, call back your power. You guys stand in your power. So yes, I feel very powerful. I know who I am, I know what I am. I know what I'm here to do. And so this is like a setback, like
Yeah, it's just the past life fear or traumas or that story of if I'm in my spirit true self, like you're saying, then it starts to be like a story starts to happen. It's like, no, the story could be there, but like you just said, I already know who I am. The end. And of course we teach people what we need to learn ourselves. Like, you want to know what any healer is dealing with? Watch what they teach. You want to know what anyone's dealing with? Watch what they talk about, watch what they teach, watch what they offer, right? Like, mine's all about self-empowerment, own your truth. Well, why that? Right? So we're all, we're all in this together, really. So, yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to take one from the chat. Cher says, body says it's not sick, but something is stuck in it.
Something stuck in her body.
Like, I think earlier she said it was like a stuck. She said earlier, body says it's not sick, but sometimes it's stuck.
Maybe you need a
Okay,
little more
okay.
information on that one.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't. I think I'm good.
Stuck energy?
Yeah. So I'm going to do the how much of this is yours question. Okay. What percentage of this is mine? And again, it's not about getting the number right. It's about getting that overall sense of like, this actually isn't all mine. Interesting. What's it sticking to, I wonder, right? But the other thing that's more interesting than that to me about this is why are you creating a stuckness or an issue? Like, why? What, why? What are you getting from creating something to exist that then makes you feel stuck, that then makes you be like, God, I'm stuck. Why are you doing that? I can see why you're doing it, right? We can all probably be like, well, I know why I do that, why I'm creating something, right? But that's the deeper question of like, why? Yep. And of course, it's, fear of being yourself, right? She's like, hey. So stop doing that. It's a beautiful thing, to be like, wow, I'm actually self-creating this thing. I'm that powerful. I wonder why I'm doing that. And I know I don't have to do it, but I still want to do it. Interesting. And that's the gift right there. Like, wow, I can either not do this or do this. It's totally my choice. And it's like the parts that want to keep doing it, you know, it's very psychological. It's just psyche stuff, you know. But yeah, you're self-creating that stuck thing.
Nice.
Thank you. That's good. Yeah, that's good advice for all of us.
Right?
All right, let's take Angela. Angela, you're up.
And
Hi,
Ellen.
Ambujam. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
I am super grateful for all that you do, Ambujam.
Oh, thank you.
Um, for me, it's mostly in my sleep. I usually wake up with really sore neck and shoulders and this specific energy around 6 a.m.-ish. Except last night it was 1 in the morning. And I don't know if it's my Kundalini rising or if it's an unwanted energy. Can you shed some light?
So I need to share this too. So when you guys ask me a question, I always give the example of like, you're all like this multifaceted jewel, and it's like you're on this like, you're turning and the light's underneath you. And it's like, well, where's the light shining today? Like, what is it that wants to, you know, because I feel your question is it's not just like a one answer. But I feel like there's some sort of masculine energy coming in while you're sleeping. And you're like, ugh, like, stop doing that. And I would say to be really clear about who you are and what your boundaries are. And then you feel that and you just allow yourself to get like big and fat, not like pushing away like this, but like, and just feeling that no, like, nope, this is my space. That's your space. This is my space. And there's a lot of grace in you that wants to just like, and just be like, it's so that grace feeling when you really get into that, like, this is my space. This is me. It can start off like mentally, let's say, right? Of like, it's my space. But then as you really just kind of surrender into that grace, like it just keeps feeling very like it's dancing. It's so like fluid and it's very clear. You know, it doesn't, again, like our idea of a boundary is like this. And sometimes like emotionally, like we feel like that or we need to do that. But ultimately this can't stay because it's not coming from that truth. Just no, right? No. Like a true boundary and an emotional boundary are really different. And again, sometimes we need that emotional boundary because of where we're at and what's going on, but it can't ultimately stay up because it's coming from an emotional place, right? So I would say just keep finding this, like the Angela dance, I want to call it. And you're okay. Like you're already okay. And that, we could say that awakeness, that grace, that dance, that light, that softness that's always here in you. I'd spend time there for this issue with this masculine piece. And it will guide you through love and gentleness and like joy, like quiet joy. So That's what I want to say.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, do we lose everybody?
Sorry about
Hi,
that.
Valentina.
No.
Will you unmute yourself? You're up.
Where is she?
She's over the top. At the top.
I so don't see her.
Right there. In blue. There you go.
There she is. Valentina, you're up.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, I am going to murder your name. Abba,
Ambujam.
I
Ambujam.
am so sorry, and I'm
It's
usually great
okay.
on names
It's
because mine is a little unusual as well,
totally
but
okay.
I,
No
I have
worries.
a bit of speech impediment here and there, and it came out with that one. I'm sorry.
No
Um,
worries.
I, I'm, I'm kind of, I have been lost in certain respects for quite some time, and I keep trying to, make myself better, and
Mm.
in all kinds of ways, and going within myself, and I think what I want is a little bit of direction. Am I going in the right way? Am I, you know, something along that line? Like it's, I
So what I'm seeing today is
help.
like, yeah, there's two, I'm just gonna say there's two parts. One is the
Okay.
one that you were just saying about I'm doing all the things, I'm tuning in, I'm learning how to listen. Like you're doing all the things, right?
Mhm,
That's not what we have to talk about. What I see is this big trauma.
mhm.
And so without addressing the trauma and healing, beginning to heal this big trauma, the spiritual stuff, let's call it, I don't even want to call it like that, but I don't have a better word. All the stuff you're doing can't fill up space because the trauma is just kind of sitting there like this.
I thought I was working on the trauma. I thought I was getting rid of it. I thought I was addressing it, and you're now telling me
Mm,
I haven't been, and it's just a blow because I thought I
what
was
is it?
getting better.
What is it that you're afraid to? Yeah, there it is. What is it you're afraid still? Because again, you're masterfully doing all the things, but there's a spot of what are you afraid to know about it, to approach, to really stand there with a certain aspect of it. And I know we're on a call, so this is very public, right? This is a very
Yeah,
personal thing. So whatever you
I've had
feel
a lot of trauma,
comfortable, say
a
that
lot of
again.
trauma. I've
Yeah,
had a lot of trauma
yeah.
from a narcissistic husband, ex-husband who's now deceased, to uh, a child who has written me off, to family who also has written me off. I am pretty much alone in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of trauma there. And my mother was narcissistic and
Mm.
um, told me right out, right from square one, I'm a twin. And I was told at the really young, I just remember always hearing it that she never wanted to, she never wanted me, she didn't. Um,
Okay.
so that might be a lot of the trauma there,
Yes,
but it
that's
just kind of continued all the way through my life. And now I'm kind of,
the
I want
spot
to
of
get over
feeling.
it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, the spot of feeling unwanted, that's your door. And it's like behind that door is these parts of you that need to be with you and come out.
I don't know what that means exactly.
Where it's wherever you're feeling unwanted.
Pretty
And
much
how do you
everywhere.
yeah, that's That's the golden ticket. So it's not about fixing it. Like trauma, we don't fix trauma. We meet it, we listen, we learn, it heals, but we don't fix it. And so I can feel like as we're talking now, like, do you feel that sense of like letting go right now, or something kind of like,
All I know is that my whole body is shaky, and I feel like I just want to roll up in a corner and cry.
yeah,
Is
that's
that what you mean?
you are on it now. It's like taking the parts of you that feel unwanted and being like, it's like standing with all the trauma and all the healing that you've already done. And it's like you're standing there saying to all these parts of you that feel unwanted, or these feelings that feel unwanted, to be like, whew,
To go away.
okay, I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm here. I'm here. I meet you. I will listen. I want you. And then they can like, start to come out, and it can become this like welcoming back, just kind of one step at a time. It's not this idea of like, well, I gotta hurry and welcome myself back so I can have my life. It's like we're so good at like being like on task as a human, right? Oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do this and then this and then this, right? It's like, how do we not do that with our healing, to be like, all I have to do is begin to meet this unwantedness in me and meet it and know that I'm here for it. And that's kind of like a linchpin to this trauma that I'm seeing, that starts to like, starts to feel held and met and welcomed. And then all the spiritual work you've been doing can kind of start to take up space. So it's almost like these are your best friends, these unwanted parts. And you can be with them and do the path, and everything just kind of starts to work together. So that's what I want to share. Nope,
We
can't
can't hear
hear.
you. Valentina, we can't hear you.
Valentina, you're breaking up. It's a little muffled in your phone.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yep.
Yes.
This better?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, because of my age, because I'm pushing 60 here, it's like anytime soon, is it
Yeah, no,
things
I
going to
hear what you're
happen?
saying. That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
this has been ongoing for 58 years, pushing
Yeah.
59. Like,
And this
I
is,
want to be done with it already. Like,
yeah, this is the path. This is the path.
so I'm on it at least.
You're completely on it. It's this
Okay.
piece now. It's not that you're not on the path. And I totally get it. Like, I just want this to be done already. Like, believe me, I get
Yeah.
it. But that is saying to the path, everything about you is wrong and it should be something else. And it's like, this is my path. This is it. This is it. Healing this trauma, meeting this trauma, being with everything that has been in my soul history that's coming up in this life so I can actually be free. This is the path, man. Like, you're on it. So anytime that part wants to come up, that's like, hurry, hurry. We got to just be like, I hear you. I get it. And this is the path. This is the path.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Thank you.
that's good to know that I'm on the path. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go with, did you want to read it the chat?
Yes. Let's see. Do we have was it Melody's? Melanie's. Okay. Melanie says my office is really loud today, so she can't go on video. But she says I've been trying for 2 years to get a bioenergetics practice going, and so far has not been successful. Am I not intended to do this business? What am I missing? Thank you, Ambujam.
Well, I feel like I have to be blunt. Yeah, it's not the direction.
Okay.
I've never said that before, because my whole thing is like, I mean, this is where it becomes really tricky of like sharing information so people will feel the truth for themselves. And then sometimes it's like this,
Yeah.
which is rare. It's very rare for me to just come out and be like, it's not right. And why I can do that is because she already knows.
That's what I felt.
So, yeah. So this is the type of thing where just because we can doesn't mean we should.
She said, I appreciate the honesty. I needed that.
So what I want to say, what's her name? Sorry.
Melanie.
What I want to say is, God, this is what I see, this image of like seeing this thing that you've been trying to build and doing a ritual with it to be like, love you, man. But it's not going to manifest like I thought for now, because we don't know what's later. But the pushing and the efforting against like this door that just won't open. That's the part where the ritual comes in to be like, love you, man. But I gotta let go and surrender and listen to be like, here's what my idea was. Okay, what is the direction? And it can take time for the letting go of what it was, because there's a grieving, there's a letting go. There's like, it's like that. For me, it's like double Dutch jump rope when I was a kid, and people would do this jump rope like this, right? And you're waiting for that right time to jump in. And it's like letting this thing go and feeling like she has the space to listen again is that jump rope of like, okay, when do I actually feel like I've given myself time to grieve or feel sad about this or have my feelings about this? Whew, okay, now that I'm doing that, I actually can feel ready now to listen and be in the space to listen. But if you don't, take the time to just like, wow, this thing I've been building actually isn't right, and
She said,
feel.
She said, I'm just so lost on what to do for profession then.
Yep, that's where she has to go, because the mind's idea, let's say, and it wasn't just that, but the mind's idea versus the truth in our hearts can be really far apart. And the mind's idea, and again, it wasn't just her mind, because it's a layered thing. It's also a divine thing. Like something about that was a possibility, but now because there's so much change in the world and so much change in her and so much change in the souls that she's supposed to affect, that's just not as big as it can be. It's too small. It's just not right anymore.
Yeah,
And so the mind has to, it's like, I can't tell you how many starts and stops I've had of like feeling something was so right. And then 2 days later, it's completely gone. And it's like learning, like I've lived long enough now to be like, okay, I know this wave. It's not about me. Is it sometimes I have a block or an issue that I have to deal with? Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when life is dancing us and we're dance partners, and all of a sudden it's leading us somewhere else. And we're like, wait, we were going this way. And it's this like, this massive learning of how to have our control and our mind's ideas, or an idea or some sort of inspiration that was there, and it's not right anymore. And it takes time to kind of like let go, feel that feeling of like, well, if it's not this, then I don't know what it is. And that's part of what keeps us in the thing that's not working, is we're afraid to be in that complete void. So we're busy. And to go into that void is the biggest gift we can give ourselves, because what's waiting for us on the other side is more true or bigger than the thing that we thought. It's a huge path process for us. I feel like I just want to share my awakening thing really fast because it's relevant.
Yeah.
So starting my business when I was 26, I learned how to manifest, and I was a freaking amazing manifester. I learned how to do it. Everything that I wanted came to me. Then I had my awakening. Okay. Like 17 years ago. I moved to New York City. So I had my awakening in Massachusetts, in this little town I was living in. Felt guided to go to New York. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to go to New York because I'm supposed to get big now and have a big practice and a big. So I go to New York. And after being there for about a month, every single thing that I ever knew how to do to start a practice was over and it was gone and nothing was working for me. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, it took me a while to be like, wait a minute, maybe this awakening that happened to me like killed me off. And this part of me that's been running my practice and doing this whole thing, like she over. And it was freaking devastating. And I would wake up every single day in absolute terror and absolute fear because my rent quadrupled. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. And then one day, finally, after about 3 weeks of solid fear and trying all the manifesting things, one day, this quiet kind of voice in me, I guess, it wasn't really a voice, it was like a feeling, was like, I think my whole life is over as I've known it. And there's something else. And it was terrifying. And I started to put my awareness on this something else, on this to me, it was a big fat black void. Like nothing was there except black space, like nothing. And I met this space and I was like, okay, I've kicked and I've screamed and I've tried everything. I'm here now. Like, what do you want? And it just said this, shh, for 8 months.
Oh
In
gosh.
New
Wow.
York City. I
Oh
couldn't
gosh.
do anything.
Oh gosh.
And this is the part that I want to share. So when I was sitting in that void learning, I'm not this person I thought I was. Who am I? What am I? What is this sense of like complete and utter possibility in space, and anything at any second could manifest and yet nothing needs to? I was learning. And the scariest part for me was, okay, if I'm not who I was and I don't know who I am and what I'm supposed to do, I had this idea that I'm going to start throwing stuff into the void to see what's true. So I imagined like my ideas like a softball or baseball. And I was like, well, if I'm starting from scratch and my life is over, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be a lawyer? And I like threw in the ball. Nothing. Am I supposed to work at McDonald's now? Threw in the ball. Nothing. I kept having all kinds of ideas and I'd throw the ball in. Nothing came back to me. And my most scariest ball ever was,
Of course.
what if I'm not supposed to be a healer anymore? And I was like,
yeah.
because if I'm not this, I don't know anything. And I took the ball and I was like, and then woof, something came out of the void and it was like, it's already done. Just be quiet. And I had this feeling of like, okay, I'm still supposed to do healing, but I don't know what the F that looks like. I don't know anything. But this deep feeling was like, it's already created. It's already done. All I have to do is be.
Nice.
And I just sat and steeped and got used to this like unknown space. And then one day I went to go sit in that void and it was like, time to work now, you're done. And then 2 weeks later, I met my husband and then we moved to Montana.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Talk about, wow.
Well, that is how
It was-
fast it happens when it happens, huh?
Oh my God. It was
the
the
8
most,
months.
the 8 months was,
Yeah.
whew. And we all go through this in our own way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like for me, it was 8
Yes.
months. For some people, it's years. For some people, it's a day. But it's like that space comes for you because you've tried everything or you had all these great ideas, but they don't work. And it's like this devastation that we have to honor is so profound in us to give up everything that we've known and like be who we are and listen and learn how to be this like thing now, right? I used to call it the it. So when I was laying in bed every day in New York, freaked out, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I have no money. What am I going to do? My rent's due and all. And then I'd be like, well, what does it want to do today? And I'd
It.
lie in bed until I felt it move and get up. And I'm like, what's it doing now? Oh, look, it's making coffee. Oh, look, it's going to the bathroom. Oh, look, it's sitting. Oh, look, it's listening to the radio. Like I was so devastated and blown apart. I had to start on the most basic level, which is something in me is living a life. Like I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I don't understand why. My feet are moving. Like I lay in bed and I'm like, why are my feet moving? Why am I still alive? I don't understand. Like it was just insane. And now it's, 17 years later. So I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of understand some stuff, right? Because I went through it and I still go through it, but it's not like that.
But thank you
right?
for sharing that, because it helps us to understand whenever it's, one person wrote in, it's super frustrating when nothing seems to be working out and debt keeps building. I mean, and then Melanie says, who asked the question, she says, thank you for sharing your story with, 3 beautiful hearts. And I mean, that, it resonates. It resonates.
Well, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Or we
I
don't know that
I
we're
was
there.
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, COVID
Me too.
really pulled,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
pulled the rug out from underneath me,
Or
and
my old
everything
tricks
changed.
wasn't working anymore. So I could manifest like a mug and I could make everything happen. But, even the making and the forcing energy was just not going. It wasn't doing it. It was not cutting it anymore. So on the outside, it looks successful, but in the inside, it's crumbles. Like it's,
Yes.
like total burnout.
yeah.
Too.
Yeah. It's like when I was going through all that, I always had this image of like me as a purple person in front of me. Like everything was purple. And the light in my heart was like a yellowy white gold color. And it went poof. And the purple is like, wait, I'm purple. And the yellow light's like, no, you're not. Never were purple. You experienced yourself as purple, but that's not really who you are.
Oh my gosh.
And the purple still, right? Wherever in me is still that purple or that
Yeah.
identity, like for all of us, right? We're
Yeah,
like, wait, I'm not this thing. And yet it's all still here. Like I'm Swiss cheese. I have all these holes of light, but yet this part, and this is this like awakening path. And this is why it's, embodying, awakening. It's a verb. It's not like awakened and embodied. And it's like, yeah, we could talk for hours about this, but yeah, we've all had these experiences of like, this thing comes for you. You might have not been looking for it, but it happened to you. It's happening to us. And it's like, it's not special. It's not spiritual. It's just what it is, right? It's not this pie in the sky, but what starts to happen is we have all ideas of like, well, I want to be enlightened now. Well, I want to be this and I want to be that. And it's like, yeah, that's just the purple talking. Like, it doesn't know nothing, man. This does. Right. Yeah. And we're all going through it. And like you were saying, like your tricks don't work anymore. And then like, how do you know they don't work? Is because you tried them. And it's like, wait, this feels weird. What's going right? And you can't like tell somebody, well, this won't work and that won't work, because they have to have their own experience of like, well, how do you know it doesn't work? Because you've tried it. Some stuff can still work, right? That's what's so wild about like the grace of it all, is because we don't get to choose what falls away and what stays. Or when something falls away, like the woman earlier, she's like, I just want this gone. I want this to hurry up. And it's like, well, this is her grace. Like, this is the path. And you don't know when the scale's going to tip, right? And like the idea of what awakening should feel like and how we should feel free, and this should be over by now. And I shouldn't have this experience anymore of nothing working anymore. And it's like, it is so perfect, man. I can't even describe it. It's just so in perfection. And if we can learn how to like, the fact that nothing's working is part of my process right now. And I need to hang on, and I need to just let go and let go and let go and trust in a way that I've never trusted before, because I'm not trusting. Like, I am trust.
I am trust
itself.
That's,
I mean, it's like
different, like the knower. Is that different than the knower? Or is it the knower?
No. It's the knower.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the last thing I want to say about this is intuition. Intuition can be strong when it's needed to be, but most of the time it's pretty kind of still and quiet feeling, or neutral, or calm or peaceful, it's not these loud things that we keep looking for. Like, I'm in my truth. And it's like, that's not truth. That's an emotional thing. Not good, not bad. It's just what it is. And so if we keep looking for our intuition in a way that isn't working anymore or isn't what it used to feel like, well, what does it feel like now? What is my knower? Like mine's very freaking quiet. It's just kind of there. Like, I want to use my relationship with Michael, my husband, for an example. So when we first met 15 years ago, it took me about like, I don't know, 6, 7 years to even realize I was in a relationship, because I kept thinking I'm Alanis Morissette with my top down, and I'm driving and I'm all like, I'm independent and I'm alone. And I had that image one day of like, why am I so blocked to this person? And I had this image of like, I still think I'm Alanis Morissette driving alone in my convertible, when I used to like listen to her all the time, a long time ago. Like, she was my girl, man, right? She got us through a lot. A lot of us, right?
Yeah.
Music got us through a lot.
Yes.
And I kept thinking I was still that person. And it took me years to realize, holy bleepity bleep bleep, I'm not that person anymore. That's crazy. I really feel, I'm purple. Don't tell me. Yeah. So intuition doesn't, if you're looking for how you used to feel before you woke up, it will never feel like that. And it's like, we're like this, looking for intuition to be loud and bells and whistles and, oh my God, it feels so right. Doesn't feel like that anymore. Look for something else. The knower, right? What's that feel like? What's that feel like? Because we're looking for the wrong thing, and we get upset and we suffer. And it's like, I can't feel my truth and nobody's talking to me. And it's like, well, maybe you're looking in the wrong place of what is dead and over. We don't need this anymore, right? Yep.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think Tina was very welcome too.
Yeah.
Do you want to take another caller?
Yeah. Let's go with Mawaka. I like the name.
I like that name.
Mawaka, you're up. If you unmute yourself. No? Yes? There she is. Or he. What's your question?
I think you might be having some audio issues.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Well, you.
Oh yeah, you are having audio issues. Or
Yeah.
Maybe she can do in the chat.
can you do it in the chat?
Yeah.
We really want to hear from you. Can you put your question in the chat for us, please? Okay, we'll take the next. Put your question in the chat and I will read it.
Is that Jessa? Jessa Gary? I think you're up next.
Jessa Gary, you're up.
Hi. I don't know why it says Jess. Hi. It's Jessica or Jess. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous because I feel like I always feel like sheepish when I ask, because I think part of my path is like going inside and trusting what's there for me. And a lot of what you answered for Melody in your story, I feel like is along the lines. But recently, I feel I've been getting, there'll be moments where I feel this really profound, deep connection with the divine and love and my purpose and inspiration for how I want to be in the world and the things I want to do. And then so quickly, I feel like I drop out of it, and it's like efforting to get back there. And then I'm like, is that real? Am I just reaching for this false sense of, is this delusional? Anyways, I just didn't know if there's something there, or it's just, this is the times now. This is how quickly energy changes and portals are opening and closing and just patient.
So here's what I see when you talk about that. There's a whole new part of you opening, and you're still experiencing this new part of you opening. So it's brand new. It's like a butterfly caterpillar thing. So brand new. It's so like this aspect of you hasn't been like surfaced before. Not like this. Like you've had glimpses maybe through the years, but oh, so exciting. And so the part of you that's noticing it isn't the you that's surfacing. So there's still this experience of like you're separate from her, you know, and that's cool. Like you don't have to fix that or anything or do anything about it. But it's just really interesting to like watch this kind of butterfly, let's say, that kind of keeps opening in front of you. And you're like, oh, I feel so good. Oh, and then I lose it. You don't lose it. You just go back into the old identity. Let's call it of how you know yourself. But there's a whole new you that's like, I can't even say it's new because it's you, but it's new because it's human experience. So I would say just keep doing what you're doing and kind of when she does, when that butterfly, let's say, comes to you, just be like, oh, cool. I can actually feel you and see you and be with you right now. Oh, where'd she go? I guess she's busy birthing herself, you know? So that's what it feels like. Like it's just timing. She just keeps getting, let's say, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the you that keeps watching it is like kind of slowly, I don't want to say dying off, but like it's just even deeper, just kind of the letting go into this aspect amongst many other aspects. But that's what I see. It's like something is alivening in you and that's what's going on. And that's why it's not full on yet because it's birthing. So that's why I can feel like it comes and goes, but it doesn't. It's busy. It's busy birthing.
Oh, well, thank you. That makes the biggest smile on my face just because, yes, but like you throwing that ball into the abyss. I'm like, I want it to be real. And it's so scary to be like, what if it's not?
I know. Yeah, but see, but what if it's not? Do you actually need that anymore?
No.
That's interesting.
No.
I mean, I get it, but it feels so like, so yesterday. Like you already know it's real. I mean, I get it. We can have self-doubt and all the things, right? But that game that you keep playing, like put it back into box, bless it. I know the truth as much as I know now. I'll know more later. I'll keep knowing more and I'll keep knowing more and I'll keep knowing more. But I don't have to be like whatever you just said. It's because it's not what you said, it's the energy of it.
I know.
It's how you said it. It's where you said it from that I'm saying, do you need this anymore? It's not about, okay, I'll never not doubt again, or it's not about that. It's about feeling that part that's motivated to keep playing like that. And you could even, and feels childlike, you know, like you can spend time with her to be like, why you feel this way? Why you not believe? What's going on? What happened? That's like, you know the truth, but you're doubting, or not even doubting, you're you just can't admit it. Why? So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Mwaka who, or am I unmuted? Okay. We have Mwaka who wrote in her question in the chat that we had called on earlier. She said, so lovely you picked me. Love Ambujam to check in on me on next steps. She says, I was involved in a road accident, caused a lot of trauma, affected my speech, breathing, and facial bone deformity. KIN is the last thing she wrote, but can you tap into that and tell her next steps?
So that accident was not an accident. That's like really strong. And what she's left with now, the body stuff, is information. It's almost like, this is what it looks like to me. She was on a path, And then this quote accident happened, which then completely shifted. Who she is the same. Like, it's almost like the path is the same, but there's this whole new aspect of it now because of this, everything she's just talking about.
Yes.
What I want to say to her, like the deformity, the bone stuff, all of the issues that are up right now physically, what do they want to tell her? What is the spiritual opportunity of this? Why did this come for her? What is she here to, what are these aspects of what's going on with her to teach her now? And why does she need this information to continue her path? So it wasn't a derailment. It was like all this information needed to come in, and why it came in this way is, above my pay grade, I could say, right? It's purposeful though. And so to approach it from purpose of like, this is not something to just, get rid of, heal away, even though she can do healing and she can look at stuff to help, but it's deeper. It's why. What does this information in these body parts have to tell me? What is it God, the divine, wants to tell me? And how do I take what happened to me, for me, with me? How do I take this knowing it's part of my path and that God actually gave it to me? And this is a huge blessing. And I may not know why now, but I will. And I have to walk it. I have to walk it.
Yes, yes.
Gotta walk my path.
She says, I feel like I was called to inspire inspire with what I've been through. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Yeah, and that part comes from learning these things, and I don't feel like she has to learn and then share and learn, share. I mean, sorry, it's more learn, share, more share. It's not get everything and then inspire. It's like if she listens, she'll feel that dance of like, oh, it's time to share. And I don't know what that looks like, but it's this dance of like, go deep in, learn, and then, oh, time to come out and share, and then go deep again. So it can be this dance, really. Mm-hmm. But it's a holy wow, man. What a gift. I know it doesn't feel that way, but it is. It's just like God loves you that much.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
We were talking yesterday about being grateful for everything, and including what we in our heads think is negative and bad and wrong and even awful of us. How can we just fill it up with gratitude? And maybe it's not direct gratitude. Maybe you've got to take the baby steps to, be like, I'm grateful that I can fully cry and my lungs are fully alive when I cry and I can express in this way. And you got to take all the little baby steps to get to
the big gratitude,
bit more gratitude. Yeah.
A lot more insight.
Yeah.
And then she says, which is a great segue, may I have a session with you, Ambujam? So, Ambujam, will you let us know how they can work with you? You've got something that really exciting that you actually put together and was really called to put together, that you're sharing with us today. We'll pull it up and you can talk a little bit about that.
Woof. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
we're very excited.
Package. So you guys, this live session that I'm offering is this Sunday from noon Eastern to 1 p.m. Eastern. So I want to talk about this part of the package first. So this package is freaking mammoth. It's one of the largest things I've ever offered anywhere with Jeneth's assistance. Let's just call it her assistance.
I was like, please, more
strong
and then
assistance.
She came with lots more. Oh my gosh. And Spirit really pulled it through. I thought that was so beautiful how y'all did that.
Yeah. It was like a big team effort, right? So I'll talk about the live session. So this Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a group power healing to be in your kick-ass self. So everything that is up for you right now related to being who you are, being in your kick-ass self will come with you to this session. And we're going to do some massive accelerated healing, release, healing, release, healing, release, healing, release. So you can then really embody your kick-ass self. And that word kick-ass is what came through when Spirit gave me the session, because it's not about, well, I'll just kind of be. It's like, no, you will be your kick-ass self. And so the details will be healing is soul history and past choices and unfinished, incompleted emotional history, this life stuff, old belief systems, traumas, fears, old identity, ego identity. There's so much in you that's just ready to fall away. And all the healing is effortless. So all you have to do is just be and come, and the session does you. And you guys will bring all of those details of what actually will be clearing and releasing and awakening and just leaping you forward to embody and embody and embody your kick-ass self. So that's this Sunday at noon Eastern. And then the package, there's 20 audios, which again, I'm like, it's a big ass package, man.
Yeah.
And it's not like, why it's so big is not because there's 20 audios. Like what moves me is because of what they are. So there's this whole veil removal series that came through a few years ago. And I was meditating and I saw that in my body, there were these veils, like spider webs, kind of like webbing. And the webbing was the ego's fear of awakening. And they were on my chakras. They were in sexuality. They were like everywhere. And I was like, what? And they were so crystal clear of what they were. It wasn't like an emotional veil. It was the ego's terror of dying, really, of being that free. And so I created this whole veil removal series that actually goes through all the chakras. It goes through the navel area to release these egoic fears. And so that's a big, huge series there. Then the other two series are all around empowering yourself and how to know what's not your energy, how to clear your energy. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Because I forget that last one.
Veil removal.
Sorry, y'all.
I thought that I put the veil removal at the bottom here.
Oh, you did? Okay. I think there's one more.
There is self-empowering.
Yes. So, so that series, okay, this is about how you, this is about everything we talked about today. After you awaken, all these things don't work anymore. Right. And so this series is specifically to work with how do you be in the unknown? What is true self-empowerment? How do you receive? It addresses these at that energetic specific level of being in this new way, in this new experience, in this new self of how do you actually live from here? And so I address these three topics that a lot of people, have fears about: being in the unknown, true self-empowerment, and receiving. And then that last MP3 in that series does all this healing and clearing and to help you embody all of the teachings and learnings that you had in that series. So it's a huge package with so much healing and teachings. And then we have our live session on Sunday, which I'm super excited about. And it's like, the other thing I want to say about that is when you guys come, when you feel drawn to come to these groups, you bring, because this is how it feels on my end. You bring your most purest, innocentest desire to be free and be who you are. It is so crystal clear and so piercing and so strong. And it's beyond the mind. It's beyond fear. It's beyond emotion. It is this true fire in you to be who you are no matter what. And that is the power of all the healing that we do together. And it's just so sacred. And it's a huge honor to work with you guys in this way, because that's the part that helps us go fast, 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 fast. Because you're just like ready, 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 ready. So that's the package, and there'll be a replay. If you can't make it live on Sunday, once you register. After you purchase the package, you'll receive a link to register on my end. Once you register, you're in energetically. So if you can't make it, I've got you in the session, and then there's a replay that you can listen to and download on that page after, about 7 hours after the session.
Fabulous. Can they type in questions if they can't be there? Could they write you an email
No, there's
tonight?
no Q&A. There's just healing.
Just
Yeah.
healing.
gosh,
Okay.
That's a good question.
Cool,
Yes.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
I used to
Fun.
just share about
That's
that.
juicy.
When the group power healings first started happening in like 2010, I used to do the healing for an hour and then a Q&A after, like for half an hour. And people were writing me like, we don't like the Q&A because it's taking us out of the space of all this healing, and I just want to be in myself. And I was like, okay, Q&A done.
Yeah.
So I just stopped that that way of doing healing in a group like that because people didn't like it. So I was like, okay, cool. The people have spoken.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
juicy.
it
Very
does.
I think
It
there's a
really
time and a
does.
space for Q&A, you know?
Yeah.
And after the session, it's just not the time. So yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well, I
Thank
could
you for
see why.
having me back on too.
Of course.
Didn't
Yeah.
thank you, I don't think. What are you
It's
gonna
just
say?
gone so fast.
I know. I'm like, you could do this for another hour
Yeah.
or 3.
It's just like, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, this was very, very fun.
Yes.
And I
So
feel
good to be with you guys.
I feel very clear from all that too. It's sort of interesting. I'm like, just kind of get back to your knower, huh?
Word.
I am trust. That was my big takeaway.
Trust.
Woo! Let's do.
Oh,
Let's
thank
do.
you guys
Thank
for
you.
the thank yous.
All right, all the love, little love fest.
What's this question? Oh, and the link is in the chat up here. If you, I can put it in again.
And those who are listening on the replay, it will also be,
somewhere on that page.
and it'll say special offer. Please choose it. If your heart is calling, we've interviewed several people. I have not seen anything so massive and so just, it's full of just definitely divinely guided. Like it's definitely here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's, somebody will ask me, how do I know if this is right for me? Because your heart will say. At the end of the day, that's like what Lyanca said. Like, if this is in your heart, come on in, right? And if it's not, don't do it. Like, it's that simple, right? Because so many things pull us, and maybe I should do this, and maybe that, and maybe this. It's like, well, your heart will know. Just trust your heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and you're also truly the contribution if you know you're part of this. Like your energy is
Yes.
required for the group.
Yep. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. To me, it's like everyone's a piece of the puzzle. And when you come, you bring your specific piece, and that piece has your soul history and your experience that then it adds to all the other pieces of the puzzle. And it's like every single session couldn't have happened without you. It's so specific. Yeah.
Lisa's in. She says she's coming as well. Let's see. Someone else just mentioned they're coming. Yeah, it's awesome.
Goody.
Very awesome. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh
Can
my
I just share
goodness.
one more little quick metaphor
Yeah.
of
Go for
a
it.
group power healing? So this part just feels important. So to me, it's like I describe it like a symphony. So world-class musicians have gone to school, right? And they've played and they've played and they played, and it makes them world-class. And then when they come with other musicians who are world-class, everyone contributes to this music, right? And nobody says, I'm world-class, right? They just are. It just is because of their training, because of everything that they've done. And so when we come together, it's like you guys are all very finely tuned, specific instruments because of your soul history, because of this life stuff. Like everything you've ever been through makes you this world-class soul that is on this path. And when we all come together, we play this music that can only be played, together. And so, yeah, it's that huge contribution. Like we can't do it without you. If you feel called, like you have something really important to bring that then brings all of the information through. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to say.
Follow that energy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you
always
so
so fun
much.
to play with you. Oh my goodness.
You guys too.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to unpin you and stop this recording. What am I doing? The recording. Where's the stop?